Hey, what's up guys? Brian here from Renshaw's Personal Training. What I really wanted to go over in this video is my personal 5 tips to help grow a big and fuller chest. Alright guys, so I've been having a lot of people asking me lately, what's the best way to go about getting a fuller chest to get more pec results? So what we're going to be going over is 5 simple tips that I really love and I like to incorporate in my chest training that really makes a big, significant difference. Now first off, with your chest, just like any other muscle, you have to make sure you're getting the right nutrition and a calorie surplus in order to build that quality muscle that we're all after. If you're not getting those additional calories, your body's not going to grow, you're not going to get stronger, and you're going to hit that plateau really quick. So first, make sure that you focus on that. Second, also understand that everybody's pec muscles are shaped differently. So depending on your genetics and your body type really makes a difference on how your chest is going to look in the end. Just really remember that you're competing against yourself so that you want to improve and look better than you have done yesterday. Try not to focus too much on looking like someone else, okay? So just be a better you and worry about you only. So without further ado, let's get right into the 5 tips. So tip number 1 is a very simple tip. This is the position of your rib cage, okay? And I focus on this with every chest movement that I'm doing, either it being bench press, machine press, anything. What I really try to focus on is bringing my feet back, squeezing my glutes, especially on a flat bench, and creating a little arch in my lower back so it's a strong bridge. This encourages the tension on the chest muscles and a lot less on the shoulders, right? And a lot less on the rotator cuffs, which lead to injury. So I really make sure that I'm incorporating this kind of technique through every single chest exercise here, and you can see what I was trying to show you on the bench press. Obviously it might be a little bit different on an incline bench, so make sure you pay attention to that. So very simple tip number 1. Tip number 2 is going to be to incorporate compound lifts into your chest routines. This means barbell bench press, decline, incline bench press. These movements are going to add more mass into your chest muscles, but also keep in mind your form has to be even perfect or even more perfect on these movements because other muscles come into play. So if you don't do the movement right, it can be leading to a lot more shoulder development or a lot more tricep development rather than your chest muscles. So in order to incorporate more isolation to these movements, I like to stop a little bit short on barbell presses, meaning that I'm not locking out my elbows on top. I'm pushing out about 85 to 90%. So this keeps the tension on the chest muscles and encourages the contraction on the chest muscles, okay? So a lot of people get this wrong. A lot of people will try to move too much weight and just get from A to B and just push it up as much as you can. Remember, quality over quantity, that's our motto. So focus on the quality first. The weight will always be there. You can always get stronger, okay? The technique must be right in order for you to gain that quality muscle. And tip number 3 is going to be to incorporate fly movements into the routine. I like to incorporate some type of fly movements almost into every single chest routine that I do. This is because flies help isolate the pec muscles only if you do them right. A lot of people tend to steer away from flies because they hear that it's a big injury risk exercise. That is because a lot of people don't do them right. So in order to get the fly movements right, just make sure you're keeping that rib cage up, and also make sure that the middle part of your knuckles here always face towards the ceiling if you're doing lying down flies. Obviously if you're doing cable flies or standing motion, it's going to be a little bit different. So keeping the elbows slightly bent, making sure that you're aware of where your knuckles are during the fly movement is really going to help isolate the chest muscle only and take the shoulders and triceps out of the equation. So it's going to really help you kind of focus on the variety factor of training rather than doing just compound lifts all the time. Tip number 4, guys. My tip number 4 is to incorporate that center pec training. In order to do this, you have to do a lot of close grip movements. So you can see right here what I'm trying to show you is I'm just incorporating a basic close grip push-up into the end of my routine to help hit the center pec muscle. And that just helps tie your chest in more to the center, okay? Also, I'm doing some plate presses here, and that also is a good exercise to help tie in that center pec muscle. Now, there's a lot of different exercises that you can do to help hit the center. Obviously, it's gonna help, these exercises are gonna hit the whole chest muscle in general, but it's gonna emphasize that center part squeezing out, which is what you wanna get, and that's gonna be missing a lot on the compound lifts, okay? So we're just trying to attack different angles of the chest to create that rounded fullness and that symmetry of the whole pec muscles. And tip number 5, guys, last but not least, this is actually probably one of the most important tips that I incorporate or I've learned over the years, is to learn how to contract your chest muscle. So a lot of guys have complained or told me that they can't feel their pecs while they're doing chest exercises. Well, that's probably because they haven't learned how to contract their pec muscles correctly with the right training. So what I like to do, and a good way to practice this, is you can just work on flexing in between sets. You can see right here, I'm just flexing my pecs, or actually using a wall and doing kind of like a bench press against the wall and stopping short and focus on just holding an isometric contraction. That's gonna help stimulate your nervous system. It's gonna make you aware of the contraction, and it's gonna help train you to, when you start doing your heavier lifts, to really focus on isolating the pecs and contracting them. Because contracting your pecs don't happen automatically. You have to really focus on that mind-muscle connection and really engage in this, okay? So that's what I want you to fully understand. And guys, that's it. That's my 5 personal top tips to help encourage a fuller and a bigger chest. Like I said, making sure that your eating is right and making sure that you're only working against yourself and not comparing yourself to someone else, okay? So progress, baby steps, and then you'll get better as we go along the way with a structured and consistent program, right? Also, guys, if you're in need of that program that helps break you through that plateau and help simplify the whole process, please check out that membership workout program. I have that available at renshawspt.com. Right now, I just posted up the new March workouts, which are doing really, really good. The members are really liking those workouts. So check that out, guys, if you have time. Like always, quality over quantity. I'll catch you guys soon.